Hi, I'm Sadie Miller, an associate at True Impact. We're a measurement software firm focused on measuring the outcomes of social investments. We developed the reporting tool to help grantees quantify impacts on a set of common indicators so that funders can identify and share best practices across their grant portfolio. The benefits of the reporting process are threefold. To prove the value of your program, the heart of the report is an outcomes-focused logic model that enables you to articulate how your program helps participants achieve the program's mission. However, we don't want you to shortchange your program by ending your logic model at the point that you can monitor. So, through our best available data approach, you can provide estimates or extrapolations for those end outcomes if your program doesn't have the current data or capacity to measure them. Second, to improve the value of program outcomes. The report helps you identify gaps in your performance measurement plan and communicate with one document the program's intended outcomes to funders, stakeholders, and implementers. And finally, to save time. By front-loading reporting at the initial stage, updating existing reports at the final reporting stage, and cloning past reports for multi-year programs, you can save time on reporting. So let's get started. The overall content of the report is an overview section describing your program, an intervention section describing the activities and services you provide, a beneficiary section with location, demographic, and descriptive information about who you serve or who participates, and outcomes, which has the core logic model, budget, and a narrative with success stories and lessons learned for the final report. Now, in the onboarding process, you'll receive an email notification to accept and allocate an investment to a grant-funded report. You're guided through the reporting process with a self-audit checklist. The final stage includes an iterative feedback process from both True Impact and sometimes also from your funder. Once the report is submitted, and then you will return to have that, return the report, the edited report, to have it verified and published to your funder. Now, don't hesitate to reach out with questions. You just click the help button in the system at the bottom of any page. They all go straight to me, and the least that I can do is connect you to your relationship manager if they're related to your specific grant agreement. The logic model helps you describe the process that beneficiaries go through in your program, all the way to success. There are 5 stages to the logic model, and it helps to think of how your program goes through each one. Capacity building includes creating, enhancing, or maintaining resources that can support your beneficiaries. This is separate from beneficiaries actually taking advantage of them. If your program takes advantage of existing capacities, you just skip this section. For reached, this is the number of people who have access to your program. Every program needs to include reached. And learn, the number of people that gain skills or capacity. Act is the number of people that take action due to the program. This is not the final social impact. This would be an intermediate action, like a program with the goal of getting students to graduate high school. The mobilized or act section would include attending class, studying, or doing homework. This may not be relevant to all programs, so it's not required, but you should include it if taking action on new skills or newfound motivation or new resources is part of your program's model. And then succeed, the number of people who are impacted by your program. This is required, but you can estimate it if need be. So the reporting process begins with an email inviting you to sign up to the platform. The email includes a reporting schedule and a link to a training deck and webinar. It also includes a specific email address. This is the email that you'll use to create the account. You'll go to the new login page and create your account using that same email address and enter into your new account. In the to-do section, there is an investment to be allocated. You'll click the green Accept and Allocate button, confirm the investment, and then create a new report. In the case of additional payments to an existing program, you could select an existing report to allocate the new funds to, or copy a report for a new year if it's an ongoing program with a new amount of funding. Then you'll add a program name and a short description of the program, and that investment is now allocated to a new report. So your new report shows up in the Reports to be submitted or published section. Once you click into it, you'll describe the program in your own words and add the time period that you're reporting on. Now, here you'll notice that there are several bullet points underneath the question, what is the time period you're reporting on? And if you click on the blue eyes or the blue More Info section, there will be an additional FAQ for each field that helps guide you through any questions that you might have about how to complete one section. Add a web-friendly version of your logo and select the stage of the report. For initial forecast, this is a program that is not yet started or has just started. Interim is a midterm report or forecasting the end outcomes of a program that has already begun. And a final report is reporting your actuals on a completed program. Now, unlike traditional grant reports that require longer open field activity and service descriptions, the intervention section here is looking for a categorical summary of your core services. So select your program's primary core service activity, and then you can also select a secondary level. And then select the primary intervention type. This includes direct service, that's a distribution of goods, services, knowledge, or training directly to beneficiaries. Capacity developed, that would be increasing the efficiency of existing organizations or service providers through technical assistance, professional development, infrastructure development, or collaborations. And policy and advocacy, which would include changing laws, policies, resource allocations, or other structures. And then here is selecting the program duration and frequency of engagement with beneficiaries. And so my example is a program that runs for an hour or less, 2 to 4 sessions over multiple weeks. The beneficiary section is designed to describe your direct beneficiaries. In the case of a capacity building or policy initiative, the beneficiary may be a client of an organization that you support, the student of teachers that you train, or the constituents of leaders that you educate. So start by providing beneficiary locations, then add demographics, relevant categories and percentages. These are those that are significantly represented by your target beneficiaries or that are particularly important to your funder as part of your agreement. And then describing important characteristics about your program's target beneficiary population. Avoid including program Implementation details here, those all go in the intervention section or in the overview section. And if you're describing more than one beneficiary population, each who gain different distinct program benefits from your program, this may be a time to think about creating separate social impact reports for each, for cleaner tracking and reporting of different beneficiary groups. And now we're at the logic model. Again, the heart of the True Impact platform. The first thing you do is select the type of program that best describes the services you provide. You will be presented with a few options based on the general category of programs that the funder has selected. And if none of those options presented fit you, you can search the entire catalog of program types by clicking Search Full Services Taxonomy, the green button. The type of program that you select determines which indicators that you'll be offered as the wizard moves on. So try to select the one that's most appropriate for your program. For each stage, you'll be presented with relevant options for result indicators. For Reached, Act, and Learn, you usually only have one indicator that's represented. So Reached is participate in a program, Learn is build skills or capacity, and Act is take action. However, there will be multiple capacity building and success indicators. Once you've selected all of the relevant result indicators, the program walks you through how you define success for each of those indicators, the number of people that achieve that indicator, and how you measure it. So here, in Participate in a Program, you define reach. So how will a beneficiary participate in or be served in order to be considered reached by the program? And then here you see that your definition has been added to the program. Then you add the forecasting of the impact. That's the number of people that you forecast will achieve this particular indicator. And then you categorize the measurement. This is how you determine the actual number, whether you're estimating from data, you're guessing from your personal expertise or from anecdotal information, or whether you're directly measuring. So you categorize the measurement, and then, if relevant and available, upload any backup documentation around the testing, survey tools, or how you determine this measurement, and describe the measurement process in your own words. So you will do that for each one of the indicators that you select. Upload documents that provide backup or context for your impact model, and any additional notes. The budget is a really high-level budget with direct costs and indirect costs, overhead expenses, and overhead in kind, like donated services or spaces, and then there is an optional upload of your budget. And so for this section, this is for your overall program and not just for the specific grant, although there are times when a specific grant or investment is the same as the program budget. The next step is to review the impact receipt. This is what the funder sees, and then click towards Submit. I've showed you here what an incomplete report looks like. A green check is complete. No check means that there is additional information needed. The yellow is that there's a warning that you need to review and either resolve or mark as not relevant. And red is an error that you need to resolve. Once you complete those, you'll see all of the checks are green. The submit for feedback button becomes active, and you can click submit. Once feedback is provided on your report, you'll receive an email notification to return to the platform to review that feedback, make any edits as necessary, mark as resolved, and submit again in order to publish to your funder. And again, if at any time you have questions, don't hesitate to click the help button or email support@trueimpact.com. And thank you so much for your time.